General Assembly says that in several places in law. And they have to give consideration, they say that when the school board develops these, they need to give consideration to the views of teachers, parents, and concerned citizens, and ensure that they're supportive of individual rights. So in terms of the student code of conduct, the law puts a duty on the parents, which of course we all have anyway, of working with the schools to ensure that the child obeys the rules of conduct, isn't disruptive, doesn't bring a gun to school, doesn't bring drugs to school, doesn't interfere with harm other children. So the law says parents have a duty to work with the school to try to take care of that. And so it does have in there then that the school board shall hand out these codes of conduct every year so that the parents are aware of what the rules are. And then it says that the parents are to sign, acknowledge that they have received the code of conduct. And the law is very clear that they have to include a notice to the parents. And I believe that that notice is on the one page of the rules here in Fairfax County, saying that by signing the statement of receipt, they do not waive but expressly reserve their rights under the Constitution of the United States and Virginia, and that parents have the right to express disagreement with the policies or decisions. So that is on that. When you sign it, all you're signing is, I receive this and I don't waive my right. Well, and so that's what the law says. Now, I know some people might still be uncomfortable by saying, well, if I sign this, I'm implicitly agreeing with everything. And I mean, undoubtedly, probably 90% of the code of conduct is perfectly fine. I mean, it's things you don't want your children to do in school. So you want to agree with the school board that students are not going to be insubordinate to the teacher, they're not going to harm their fellow students, all of those things. Obviously, you want your children to do that. But you don't want to be seen as acquiescing to this addition of these other categories that could get your child into trouble for something that really isn't even permissible for the school board to be doing. So what I put together here is there's a one-page legal memo that we have. And it basically lays out what the law provides, and the fact that under Dillon's rule, the school board does not have the right to expand this, and that parents have these rights to object. And also another thing that's important is the law does not impose if you don't sign this and return it, there's no penalty. They don't come looking for you. They don't send the sheriff after you and fine you or anything. But it does send a message perhaps to the school board that you're blowing it off, rather than sending a message that you received it but you don't agree. So in any parents who might want to not just fail to return it, but to return it and make sure the school board knows that they disagree and object with this addition, you could send this paper back, this one-page paper, and there's a room on the bottom for a signature saying you're exercising your rights under Virginia law to object to their change in the non-discrimination policy. So then you're being very specific that the reason that your objection is to the change in the non-discrimination policy. So it's not necessary. You can sign it, and all you're doing is receiving it, saying you've received it. But if you have this concern that signing it means somehow you're agreeing with everything in it, you could not sign it and not return it. But again, the only message the school board is going to necessarily get is that you didn't return it. And does that mean you threw it away? Does that mean you lost it? Does that mean it doesn't mean anything to them? So, but if you did something like this, and they may not read this either, but at least it's in the record that I'm signing this, but I'm not agreeing with this particular part.